You didn't find this message by coincidence. This moment was divinely orchestrated. Somewhere between heaven's timing and your silent prayers, the universe whispered, "It's time." Not time to shrink, not time to doubt, but time to awaken to the fire inside you that refuses to be ignored. Because when destiny calls, even your silence learns how to listen. Listen closely. You are not just a body walking this earth. You are a divine frequency echoing across unseen realms. A signature of light uniquely written by the hand of God Himself. That's why you've always felt different. Not broken, not weird, just chosen. And while others may not understand your energy, it's not because you're too much. It's because you carry too much truth for small rooms. Before we dive deeper, I want you to do something bold. Comment below with the number 777. Not as a trend, not as a lucky charm, but as your spiritual contract. The declaration that says, "I'm ready, ready to rise, ready to receive, ready to remember who I am." Every time someone types 777, heaven takes notice. So go ahead, make that move. Let the realms hear your soul roar. See, your presence does more than enter a room. It shifts the atmosphere. You bring peace where there's chaos, light where there's confusion, and conviction where there's complacency. You don't need to speak loudly. Your energy shouts in silence. That's why some people feel uneasy around you. Not because of anything you've done, but because your very existence exposes their sleeping potential. You shine. And when light shows up, darkness has no choice but to respond. Let's be real. Being called isn't always glamorous. Sometimes it's lonely. You'll be misunderstood, labeled, rejected, not because you failed, but because you refused to dim, but hear this, you were never meant to fit in. You were born to interrupt mediocrity, to carry a fire that won't be silenced by fear, judgment, or tradition. You're not just walking through life, you are activating it, Your journey is a testimony. Your scars are sacred. Your survival is proof that grace is not a concept, it's a force. And when you move, mountains notice. When you speak, chains loosen. Even your silence carries sound waves that shake the spirit world. So yes, some will distance themselves. Not because you're wrong, but because your truth feels like fire to their comfort zone. Let them go. Let them misunderstand. They weren't assigned to the weight of your calling. You are not too much. You are perfectly calibrated for purpose. You are a mirror, a storm, a sunrise, a divine interruption wrapped in human skin. So remember this, you weren't sent here to be liked. You were sent here to lead, to awaken sleeping souls, to stir stagnant hearts, to light torches in the dark. The world may not be ready, but heaven already said yes. And that's the only approval you'll ever need. So rise, not for applause, but for alignment. Because when you finally become who you were always meant to be, you won't just change your life, you'll change everything around you. Every obstacle, every long night spent in tears, every painful chapter in your life story was not evidence of abandonment. It was preparation, divine shaping. Like gold refined through fire, or diamonds born through intense pressure, your trials were transforming you into a vessel of power, endurance, and radiant strength. What was once your breaking point is now your breakthrough, and that strength within you shines with such purity that some can't look your way without being reminded of their own unfulfilled potential. But do not let their discomfort sow doubt in your heart. The very essence that unsettles one person might be the same energy that brings liberation to another. Your fire can both convict and comfort. It all depends on the heart receiving it. That's the paradox of being chosen. You're not here to blend in, to fit every mold, or to be accepted by the masses. You're here to find and be found by those whose spirits align with yours, souls that will honor the truth you carry, not try to extinguish it. And when the right ones arrive, they won't try to dim your brilliance. They'll stand in awe of it. They'll mirror it. They'll amplify it. Because what God placed inside of you is not meant to be hidden, it is meant to be released. Remember what was spoken in ancient times, that before your very form was woven in the womb, your purpose had already been declared, and your uniqueness was sanctified for a higher mission. So even if your sensitivity was misunderstood or your wild imagination dismissed, know this: what was once criticized in the natural realm is honored in the spiritual realm. Your empathy is not a weakness, it is the channel through which healing flows. Your vision is not a fantasy, it is the blueprint for transformation. You were born with the tools to shift the atmosphere, to build what has never been built, and to breathe life where others only see dust. Say it aloud or write it with boldness: I am not here by accident. I am divinely crafted. I will no longer shrink to soothe others' discomfort. I will no longer dim what was meant to shine. I am chosen for such a time as this, and I am ready to rise. You're stepping into a new dimension of yourself, where your inner power is no longer hidden, where the fire inside you no longer waits for approval to burn brighter. This is the moment you declare, not just with words but with your entire being, that you are ready to embrace the magnitude of your purpose. And as you make that decision in the spirit, let the unseen realms bear witness to the unwavering faith you're now activating in full force. Pause for a second and shift your awareness, not to who you've been, but to the ripple effect your energy has on every corner of your life. It's not just about self-transformation, it's about how your elevated frequency begins to shift the atmosphere around your relationships, your finances, your future. There's a reason the adversary of your destiny attempts to convince you that your uniqueness is too loud, your presence too powerful, your truth too radical. Because if you begin to doubt the strength within you, you'll unknowingly silence the very voice that was meant to awaken nations. That lingering insecurity, that impulse to dim your light just to be more acceptable, it's been a weapon used against your own greatness. You start muting your power, apologizing for standing out, and before you know it, the momentum that once pushed you toward your highest path begins to slow. But that story is ending today. You're reclaiming what has always belonged to you: your divine authority, your full identity, and your unapologetic brilliance. You will no longer shrink for the comfort of others who haven't yet found the courage to expand. Understand this: your presence disrupts environments that are built on conformity. You command attention in a world that often fears raw authenticity. You weren't designed to blend in with the ordinary because the fire God placed in you refuses to flicker. You can't fabricate the kind of purpose that wakes you up at night with visions too big for small minds to grasp. And let's be honest, your boldness unsettles some people because it confronts their excuses. Your very existence becomes a mirror showing them what they could be if they chose to rise. Some will be inspired by you, while others will feel threatened. They will either elevate alongside you, or they'll try to drag you back down to the safety of their comfort zone. But remember the words of the prophet in Isaiah: "Arise and shine, for your light has come." This is not just poetic language, it is a divine instruction. You're being summoned to rise, not suggested. You are being commanded to reflect the glory that surrounds you. You were never meant to reduce your brilliance just to accommodate someone else's dimmed vision. It is time for full expression with no hesitation, no filters, and certainly no apologies. Some will whisper, "You've changed." But instead of defending your evolution, ask why they remain unchanged. Growth is not a betrayal of your past, it is the evidence of life itself. If you're not stretching, you're shrinking. And right now, your calling demands expansion. Let them talk. Let them judge. Their words cannot override the blueprint heaven has already assigned to your life. Like a butterfly emerging from a cocoon, you owe no explanations to those who only knew the caterpillar version of you. You are evolving, ascending, becoming. And when you begin to operate from your highest spiritual frequency, things start to shift rapidly. What once felt impossible becomes accessible. Doors that refused to open before now swing wide. People you've never met suddenly feel compelled to help fulfill the vision within you. This isn't by chance, it's divine orchestration. As Deuteronomy tells us, the blessings of God will not just visit you, they will overtake you. That means you're not begging for breakthroughs, you're walking in alignment and the favor finds you. You're not chasing what's already destined to meet you in motion. But don't expect everyone to clap when you rise. Some will be confused, even offended, by your elevation because your progress disrupts the narrative they cling to, that life is unfair and purpose is only for a chosen few. But you are living proof that destiny is activated by obedience, not favoritism. And your very existence threatens the lies they tell themselves to justify their stagnation. So don't pause to make them comfortable. Don't slow your pace to match their fear. Keep moving. Keep rising. Keep radiating that divine, unstoppable vibration that was placed inside you long before you ever doubted yourself. And if you've ever asked, "Why me, God?" the answer is clear, because no one else carries your blueprint. The assignment you hold is custom-built for the exact energy, voice, and vision that you alone bring. Your story has the power to set captives free. Your voice was designed to shake chains loose. Your creativity will shift entire industries, and some of them haven't even seen you coming yet. The book of Ephesians says we were created to do good works, prepared in advance just for us. That means you're not random, you're essential. You are irreplaceable in the grand design of this world. So if certain relationships start to dissolve, let them. If old friends fall away, don't chase. Not every bond is meant to survive your elevation. Sometimes the divine removes people not to punish them, but to protect your growth. Pruning is not punishment, it's preparation for greater fruit. And yes, it will sting. Yes, it may leave you questioning. But fear staying stuck far more than you fear letting go. Think of the eagle. It doesn't scratch in the dirt with chickens. It soars with vision and intention. You, too, are built to dwell in realms where others live on mission, not in circles full of gossip, envy, or disbelief. Your energy belongs in places of movement, not mediocrity. And if you feel that unmistakable pull in your spirit right now, know that it's not just motivation, it's confirmation. Something eternal is aligning with your decision to rise. Declare it, affirm it, step into it fully, because as you do, heaven takes note. Angels begin rearranging circumstances to match the boldness of your stand. And as you live from this renewed identity, your reality transforms. Where others see setbacks, you begin to see stepping stones. What once looked like a dead end now appears as divine redirection. You speak with clarity, walk with courage, and move with a certainty that comes only from knowing who sent you and why you were sent. When you begin to live with courage instead of caution, your financial reality starts to align with that same bold spirit, unlocking new paths to abundance, unique opportunities, and once unimaginable advancements that had previously been clouded by doubt and hesitation. Fear has a subtle way of convincing you to settle, but the moment you stop giving it permission to dictate your decisions, doors open that were always meant for you but were waiting on your bravery to knock. This transformation isn't just motivational fluff, it's the very real result of stepping into the rhythm of your divine purpose, where your actions are in sync with something greater than logic and more powerful than mere strategy. And understand this, the shifts you're experiencing aren't limited to your own journey, they echo far beyond you, stretching into the lives of your children, your family, your wider community, and even touching the spirits of individuals who may never have the privilege of knowing you personally. Think about it, every bold step you take, every fear you refuse to obey, becomes a catalyst for generations to come. Just like when David confronted the giant in front of him, he wasn't merely fighting for personal survival. He was altering the trajectory of a nation, shaking loose the chains of fear that held others back, and setting into motion a legacy of courage and faith that still reverberates through time. You, too, carry that weight of generational influence. The decisions you make in boldness now will become the path someone else follows later, their map for freedom, their evidence that transformation is possible. And that's precisely why opposition shows up in your life with such intensity, because your presence is disruptive to the status quo of hopelessness and your light is offensive to darkness. Every obstacle placed in front of you is actually a distorted form of validation, a clear sign that you are stepping into territory that threatens the lies of limitation. The pushback you feel isn't a sign to quit, it's confirmation that you're a force to be reckoned with, a storm of truth and power that the enemy wants to silence before you awaken the others who've been waiting for someone to show them what's possible. Scripture reminds us to stay alert, to remain sober and watchful, because the adversary prowls like a lion, seeking someone to devour, but there is a greater lion that dwells within you, one whose roar breaks chains and shatters fear. That roaring strength doesn't come from ego or pride, but from your spiritual DNA, the power that was breathed into your soul by the Creator Himself. If you're starting to feel that rising inner certainty, a deep confidence that cannot be explained away by circumstances, that's not arrogance, that's divine assurance. It's the unshakable awareness that your life has been marked by purpose, that your table has already been prepared even in the face of those who doubt you, and that your very existence shifts the temperature of every room you enter. You weren't born to dim your light just to make others comfortable in their shadows. Your energy is meant to transform atmospheres, not shrink within them. And if you ever question how impactful your presence truly is, pay attention to the way people respond to you. Some will be drawn to your spirit, hungry for the hope you carry, while others will retreat because they fear the mirror of truth your life holds up to them. Either way, both responses confirm that you carry something rare, something divine, something undeniable. Now, take a moment and declare over your life with unwavering conviction, I am divinely empowered, deeply called, and eternally significant. My presence is purposeful. My voice carries authority. And my journey cannot be cancelled by temporary opposition. Let that declaration ring out into the atmosphere, sending tremors into every complacent system that hoped you would stay quiet, hoped you would stay small. Your very energy is a sacred weapon, designed not only to elevate your own life but to ignite transformation in those who are quietly observing, wondering if change is still possible for them. Some people are watching you from afar, waiting to see if someone like them can really rise, really overcome, really create beauty from brokenness. And your life, yes, your life, is becoming the living proof they needed. You are walking evidence that faith can still move the immovable, that love can still heal the fractured, and that a person aligned with their true identity can defy every limitation the world ever tried to stamp on them. So keep walking forward in your truth. Keep vibrating at the frequency of heaven. Keep being the evidence that miracles are not myths but manifestations of divine timing. Be the one who reminds others that God doesn't just prepare a place for you in eternity, He empowers you to bring glimpses of that glory into the present, into this world, right now. Never shrink back just to avoid making others uncomfortable. Your growth, your fire, your clarity may very well require seasons of solitude, but those seasons are sacred. And in due time, those destined for your path will arrive. People who don't fear your strength, who celebrate your mission, and who stand beside you as co-creators of divine impact. And if ever the flame within you starts to flicker, think back. Remember the nights you cried in silence, the days you fought through exhaustion, the moments you prayed not because you were strong, but because you had no strength left. And yet, you're still here. And that means something. Each experience you've walked through, whether heavy with heartbreak or glowing with triumph, was never random. It was a precisely placed piece in the intricate structure that supports your divine assignment in this life. Let that truth settle deeply within you, for it serves as undeniable evidence that you have already been armed with more inner resilience, sacred strength, and spiritual stamina than your past self ever imagined was possible. Philippians 4 verse 13 whispers a timeless promise. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. But today, I want you to interpret that not just as an encouragement, but as a divine license to walk boldly into spaces meant for you, to carry a frequency so high it disrupts low-vibration atmospheres, and to bless others even while facing resistance from those who can't yet recognize your light. Now hear this with your spirit. As you rise into this elevated realm of awareness and authority, don't be startled when financial doors begin to swing open, seemingly without effort, but truly as a reflection of divine timing and spiritual alignment. The winds of abundance are shifting in your direction, and Deuteronomy 8 verse 18 reminds us that it is God alone who instills within us the sacred power and ability to produce wealth, not just for personal gain, but to impact lives and transform communities. Your courage to walk upright, to shed layers of fear, to move in faith even when logic hesitates, that unwavering commitment activates unseen forces working in your favor. You become a magnet for opportunities, a beacon for breakthrough, and a vessel through which resources are funneled for divine purpose. Wealth doesn't chase the anxious, it flows toward the focused. Those who move in purpose, not panic. This could take the form of an overdue promotion, a divine partnership, a business opportunity that aligns with your passion, or even an unexpected stream of income that finds you right when you need it most. Don't just hope for it, expect it. Receive it with gratitude. Channel it into service. Because when spiritual depth meets financial provision, your life becomes a powerful testimony of what is possible when heaven touches earth. To the chosen ones who feel something stirring in their spirit right now, something too alive to ignore, I want you to acknowledge that inner fire. That's not hype. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. You are not simply watching this message, you are standing in agreement with every revelation it carries. You're affirming, this word is mine. This breakthrough is mine. This freedom is mine. As you absorb this moment, allow the old burdens of self-doubt, people-pleasing, and second-guessing to crumble and fall away. Visualize yourself lighter, standing more grounded, radiating an unmistakable glow that only comes from divine alignment. What you feel right now is the release you've been praying for, like taking a deep breath after years of holding it in, or stepping into a room filled with light after living in emotional shadows. Today, I invite you to exhale completely. Let your soul expand into spaces that once tried to shrink you. Speak louder, walk taller, dream bolder. You have nothing to lose except the limiting beliefs that have quietly controlled you for too long. And in their place, you are gaining everything your spirit truly needs. Clarity about who you are, purpose that fuels your path, joy that doesn't waver, and alignment with people who recognize your light and honor your truth. As you walk forward into this elevated season, keep your spiritual eyes open. Don't dismiss the subtle signs. A phone call that feels divinely timed, a conversation that sparks inspiration, a new opportunity wrapped in the disguise of a challenge. God is still in the business of surprises, especially for those who stay anchored in faith and expectation. Let your energy flow freely and fearlessly. Don't let the discomfort of others become your prison. Some people will misunderstand your evolution because it forces them to confront the stagnancy in their own lives. But that is not your burden. You are not called to soothe egos. You are called to step fully into your divine potential. You are too chosen, too deeply anointed, and too aligned with your purpose to allow small minds to derail your mission. Release the need to be understood by everyone. The ones who are meant to walk with you in this chapter will find you, and they will understand without you having to explain. Let go of what drains you. Keep moving in the direction of what grows you. Your light will either inspire or irritate, but either way, it will reveal the truth. So don't just speak with words, let your actions preach. Let your joy be contagious, your resilience be unshakable, your generosity be transformative, and your success be a silent yet thunderous declaration of what God can do through a surrendered, fully awakened soul. Let your presence itself be a divine message, a walking sermon, a living witness. Now take one final moment to breathe deeply, inhale the truth of who you are, and exhale every lie that ever told you otherwise. Step forward boldly, unbothered by noise, and fully available to receive what is already yours. Wishing you clarity in purpose, strength in spirit, and a life overflowing with peace, joy, and divine abundance.